And when you did that, did you see what Kristina tripped over?
The duffel bag of a man I was involved with.
And did you replace that duffel bag with another item?
I moved the bag to the other room, and I placed a pair of shoes near the window.
Why did you do that?
The man I was involved with was an FBI agent. I didn't want to draw him into any trouble.
Mr. Ohm, did you have any intention of harming Miss Corinthos Davis or her child?
I would never do anything to harm a child. My own daughter was brutally murdered. And I would never wish the pain of losing a child on anybody.
I have one last question, Mr. Ohm. Do you have any regrets about that day?
I regret that both Kristina and I felt that we had to protect our families. I regret that our differences weren't addressed in a courtroom. And I deeply regret that an innocent baby lost her life before she even had a chance to live it. But I know it was a tragic accident. No mother ever believes that this is going to be the last day with their child. And for that, I have so much regret. So much sorrow.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Trust me.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Ace here, and welcome to After News Delight. So, I went over the video already talking about Molly, and I actually added Natalia's testimony in there too. So make sure y'all go back to go watch that video to get my thoughts there and how I recap that one. Because we are going to give full attention to Ava's testimony on the stand in the closing arguments, and we're going to, you know, the trial's going to come to a close as the jury is going to go over this stuff. But first, let's talk about what Ava had to do on the stand in this one. So, Ava was coming from a very honest standpoint, too. She was very honest in this, and I'm glad that she was. She wasn't lying up there or anything like that. Wasn't trying to make things look as good for her. She told the truth about everything. She said there was a guy up there. She moved the duffel bag out of the way to a different, I think she said she moved it to a different room or something like that. And she replaced it with something else. This was apparently what Kristina tripped over when she fell out of through the window, the duffel bag. I think the key thing there was, too, was that there was something in the way for Kristina to trip, right? For Kristina to trip through the window like that. So I think that was an important thing that, see, Ava didn't try to fight on this, and that's what made her look really good on the stand. I knew Ava was going to bring it, because Rick had coached her up pretty well, like, be honest up there, and just basically say everything that went on between y'all. Like, don't lie, sugarcoat nothing. Make yourself honest as possible so that the jury can see you as an honest person and that you would never hurt a child. So that's the thing that Rick was playing into too with Ava up there, was that he was basically telling the jury as well that Ava was someone who, why would she hurt her own child? Kiki died on her, you know what I mean? She don't want no mother to go through what she went through with Kiki. I remember the day I'm in that little period. It's like what Alexis right now with Sam. But Kiki, when Kiki died, and by the way, I hate the fact, I hated the fact when Kiki died. The two worst deaths ever that, since I've been watching GH, bro, was Georgie's death and Kiki's death. Those are the two that I hate the most. Now, Sam's up there too. Sam's up there too. I shouldn't forget about Sam. I don't know how I forgot about Sam that fast. But those are my top three. Those would be my top three. Those three deaths right there. But I really hated it when they killed off Kiki, man. Kiki Jerome should have still been here, bro. Should have still been here. But Ava was showing some compassion as she was sobbing too, when she was talking about how hurt she was that even Kristina lost it. You know, Kristina, Molly, and TJ lost their child. And she brought up that speech. She brought up that speech that Rick told her to bring up. That was huge. She made herself look human, that she isn't a killer. And I think because I think there's going to be at least one jury member up there that's going to see Ava as a mother, and they're going to see her as someone that wouldn't want to hurt their own children, and knowing that she had already lost a child, she wouldn't want to bring that on nobody else. That was key. That speech, and Rick said it too. He said, if you use that speech, that's going to help us win. So when they got a hung jury and there's one juror member who believes that Ava is innocent, remember that when Rick told Ava that to use that speech. And so they gave their closing arguments, and Rick was basically saying that basically, so the prosecutor was trying to make it look like Ava was guilty of manslaughter and all that stuff, right? That was the prosecutor's angle on the closing arguments, whereas Rick was more like this is a tragedy and a random decision caused the death of a child. It was just a tragedy. And Kristina, at the end of the day, because she went there, it was on her why that child died. And I want to bring up something else, okay? I want to bring up something else. Have you guys noticed this entire time with Molly, right? I forgot to bring this up in the Molly video. Have you guys noticed this entire time that Molly hasn't really been blaming Ava like that? Right? She's been blaming Kristina. Remember when they were bickering? When they kept on bickering? Who was Molly really mad at? She wasn't mad at Ava. She was mad at Kristina. It wasn't up until recently on the Molly's birthday that Kristina finally seemed to have forgiven her. Right? She was blaming Kristina, her own sister, this entire time. That tells you right there, Molly knew Ava wasn't the cause of that death. That's why I think Rick wanted to use Molly's testimony. Because he knew Molly wasn't really blaming Ava. She could have easily blamed Ava. You know? I can't wait to see the conversation that TJ and Molly are supposed to have next week. And Molly said herself, she thinks this is a tragedy. And she doesn't really blame Ava like for manslaughter at all. Nah. And she's caught between a rock and a hard place with her sister, man. She doesn't want her sister to go down for this because here's the thing though. She also said that Kristina is never gonna forgive herself about this if Ava isn't guilty. I'm telling y'all, man, this is going to change Kristina, man. I'm telling y'all, this is going to change Kristina. And I believe she's going to try to kill Ava, man. I'm sticking by that sword. Man. But give me y'all thoughts here. We're going to see how this is going to go. Enjoy the rest of y'all Thanksgiving weekend. Give this video a like, share, subscribe. We got one more video to do, though. We're going to talk about the Lulu situation with Rocco. Well, go ahead and get this video a like, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. After News to Light.